Hello, and welcome to the 82nd edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert, and I'm coming to you from quarantine here at Casa de Bruckert. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite breweries in the whole wide world that's out of England. It's called Samuel Smith's. Now, the people out there that know about Samuel Smith's Brewery probably have a liking to it because they make some really outstanding beers. Now, the beer we're going to be trying today is the Samuel Smith's Organic Chocolate Stout. Now, this beer is rated 95 out of 100 world class, okay, which is actually rated as the #1 English stout in the world, okay. Now, I look at ratings, okay. I don't even think it's their best beer, to be honest with you. I think they have several beers that are actually better than this one. This is a good beer, don't get me wrong, but I think the rating on this is going to be a little bit off. And I'll talk about the ones that I think that are actually a better beer, which aren't rated quite as high. But let's talk about this beer, because it really is a good beer. It's just a little bit different. It's an organic chocolate. It clocks in at 5% alcohol by volume. I'm going to go ahead and pour it so we can kind of look at the color. We can talk about the smell and the taste. And then we'll talk about some of Samuel Smith's other beers, because they make great beers. It's definitely my favorite English brewery. So very good stuff. We poured it into a beautiful Beer Issues glass, as you can see, nice Beer Issues glass. And this is the organic chocolate stout bottle, so you can see it, okay? Now, we're going to smell this. Oh my goodness, it smells like a dessert. If you ever, you know how when you make brownies, you get that just wonderful, delicious chocolate smell? That's what you get when you smell this beer. You don't even smell alcohol in it. Oh, that smell is heavenly. I just feel like I'm getting ready to eat a brownie when I have this, because the smell is so delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and taste it. This is not my first time having this beer, and it's not my first time, well, it's been a while since I had it, but definitely within the last few months. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, that smell. Oh, it's like I'm brownies are baking in the oven right now, and they're almost done. That's the smell you get when you have this. Oh. So, I love it. I love it. But it is the chocolate malts, the organic chocolate malts, the organic cocoa that they use to make this. I mean, it just brings out a really wonderful chocolate flavor that just, I mean, it's hard to explain. But it's a delicious beer, okay? No doubt about it. But it's not something you could sit around and drink a lot of, because it is sweet. When I say sweet, it's like you can't hardly taste the alcohol in there at all. It's so smooth and sweet, and they balance it well. It's got, you know, a little bit of the bitterness, but not too much. It's still pretty sweet. Mm. It's delicious. This is the kind of beer you might have after a meal. You know, that's like a dessert beer. It's not something I would sit around and drink on a regular basis. Although I love it. It's delicious. Every sip is like a little taste treat, kind of like eating a brownie almost. So definitely, when they say world class, I'd have to agree. I mean, I've never had a German or a chocolate stout that is so incredibly delicious than this. So it's very, very, very yummy. Okay, but when you're talking about 95 world class, they have some other beers which I'm going to tell you about. They make Samuel Smith makes an oatmeal stout, which is for years it was my favorite beer in the whole wide world. It's a 94 out of 100. So instead of being world class, which is when it hits 95, at 94 it's just considered very good, as opposed to world class, or it might be outstanding. I forget what it is, but anyway, it's just one step below this one. And I think this one is for the oatmeal stout, because it falls into a different category. It would rank like number 12 in the world for beer. Okay. I also like a lot, if you're a stout fan, I'm a big fan of the Yeti Imperial Stout, which is an American stout, which is in a whole nother category. But it clocks in at a 94 also. So you get a lot of high ratings when it comes to good stouts. It's hard to get a stout to be this delicious. So I give them all the credit in the world. Now, they also make another beer, which is right up there for me, right next to the oatmeal stout. They make a nut brown ale, which I think the nut brown ale is rated like 92 out of 100. So it's still considered, very good, but not quite that world class. But I would give it world class all day long because it's actually the number 2 English brown ale in the entire world. So this brewery is knocking everything. They've got other beers. I'm not going to go into all their beers because they've got a bunch of them, and they're all outstanding. I've never had anything bad from Samuel Smith's, or as I like to call them, Sammy Smith's. But anyway, they make great beer, and I strongly recommend you try out any beer from Samuel Smith's that you try. But for something nice and desserty, this is phenomenal. The oatmeal stout is a solid English stout. And the English stout, I typically an English stout is just going to be a little bit sweeter stout. So when they have like an English oatmeal stout, it's got a sweetness to it, but you still get the rich, full flavor. This one, like I said, very chocolatey. Or the nut brown ale. For a brown ale, oh my goodness, you've got to check it out. So check out Samuel Smith's. They make great beers. It used to be my favorite. I've switched countries of my favorite beers, and in the beginning it was Germany, and then it went to England because they make so many great beers. Then once it got to the Belgian beers, I kind of went off the reservation. I've still been a Belgian beer fan for years, and I can't get away from them because I love them so much. But outstanding beer right here. So make sure you tell your friends about these beers, and make sure you tell them about Beer Issues. Make sure they tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends, so everybody knows about Beer Issues and all the fun we have sitting around drinking beer and talking about beer, okay? Also, check out shop.beerissues.com to get all of your cool gear for Beer Issues: hats, shirts, phone cases, beer glasses. Actually, the beer glasses, just send a message to me, and if you're local, we'll get them to you. I just don't want to ship glass because it's more of a hassle than what it's worth in the long run. But make sure you check out the shop. I think you'll find a lot of things on there that are really, really awesome. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.